In this recent report, the CDC determined that this is perhaps good news. 66 million COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the U.S. There are currently 4 COVID-19 vaccines that are either authorized for emergency use or on the verge of being authorized. Pfizer is available, Moderna also available, AstraZeneca available only in England, and Johnson & Johnson is on the verge of emergency authorization from the FDA. But which vaccine is the most effective? Joining us now to discuss is vaccine expert and attorney Dr. Dean Fanelli. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good to join you.
So 4 currently out there somewhere. Which one is the best or most effective in your opinion?
So when we look at the vaccines, they all generate an immune response. Pfizer and Moderna certainly in the clinical trials came out at 95% efficacy, which was extraordinary. Johnson & Johnson, which is the probably next one that will be authorized as early as this weekend in the U.S., has an efficacy against severe symptoms of 85%. So when you put them all next to each other, people should recognize that they're all equally good, and shouldn't get fixated on the 95% versus 85%. And, whatever one's available to you in the short term, that's the one you should get because they will all save lives. And most importantly, they'll all prevent those severe symptoms like hospitalizations, being on supplemental oxygen, ventilators, and of course, death.
Now, the Johnson & Johnson, a lot of people are excited about because it's only one dose to achieve the results.
That's right, and that's going to be a huge lift. I mean, even though the efficacy is a little bit less, one dose will be a lot easier to get out to people, a lot more efficient to distribute, and more importantly, you need to get that second dose for Moderna and Pfizer to have that 95% efficacy. With Johnson & Johnson, a single dose gets you the efficacy after 28 days. So that's a huge game changer in my opinion, and it's going to be a big deal because we're seeing that distribution is one of the issues. So having another vaccine on the market certainly will alleviate some of those distribution issues that we're dealing with.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the distribution issues and what you think can be done to alleviate those. And then also this initial report that's out right now that they're looking into, that the Pfizer vaccine can be effective or just as effective with just one dose. That would raise questions in people's minds as to whether that's now being done so they can increase and better distribution, or is that legit?
Yeah, it does look like to answer your second question first, it does look like the Pfizer vaccine and probably even Moderna will offer some efficacy after that initial shot. Now, we have to understand the trials were done in a controlled setting based on 2 shots, Pfizer 3 weeks after the initial shot, Moderna 4 weeks, and that's where you hit 95%. So although, I understand conceptually why you'd want to get this out quicker, one of the big issues is by giving just that first shot, we don't know how long that antibody response is going to last. So you may have that immunity in the short term, but that long-term immunity that's available by getting that second dose in that particular time frame could be, the key. Now they are testing spreading that second dose out, but at least for this time, I think we should stick to what we know now, and that's get the second dose in accordance to what was done in the trials. Now, as far as distribution goes, I think personally, I think we should distribute this, start going below the age of 65. I think there should have been temporal components. After month 1, we're going to have that first phase 1A, month 2, phase 1B. And now, that we're getting into to March and have a third vaccine potentially authorized, we should start lowering those thresholds and administering maybe start with 55-year-olds, 45-year-olds, et cetera, just to get that distribution out there.
Yeah. Dr. Fanelli, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
I think